Hi everyone, and welcome to Filipino Time. Today I'm with Kei Pascua here at Vintage Grail, and we're here to talk about, her entry into the watch field, some great watches over here, and hopefully get to deep dive into some of these great pieces. So Kei, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you for having us. So we're here in Vintage Grail. We're here in the Manila Pen. So tell me about the place.
The place is very new. Actually, we were here just last September.
Okay.
And but we've been doing Vintage Grail since February of last year.
Okay. Yeah. I remember I was at your launch event in
Lanai.
Yes, that's right. That's where we first met, I believe.
Yeah.
And how has it grown since then?
We've been continuously growing since Lanai event.
Yeah.
And a couple more others, yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, so how did you get into watches and how did you get into, Vintage Grail in this industry?
I've been actually very passionate about watches since I met one of the partners of Vintage Grail.
Okay.
And back then, they were just thinking of how to open like a platform for watch collectors in Manila. And it just so happened that I was a friend with one of the partners, and he asked me if I would want to join, and I said yes. Yeah.
Okay. But for someone who is interested in watches, you're not wearing one, conspicuously not wearing one.
I don't normally wear a watch, especially when I go to the shop. Only because there were a lot of instances wherein I would wear a watch that is really not so significant in the watch industry. And I've had experiences with a lot of collectors who would ask me, you're selling all of these significant watches, but you're wearing a normal watch? And I don't really want to go through that on a normal
basis. That's fair, but you guys know who you are. That's actually not cool. Because watches at their core are subjective.
That's true.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so, which is why we have a quite different selection here from the store, mm-hmm. basically, right? Yeah. Everything from women's watches to some highly complicated watches. Mm-hmm. So I think really that we can get around that significant, non-significant.
Okay.
I think so anyway. So that is not cool. But then let's start with some of the watches that you've worn, some of the insignificant watches, because I don't believe that.
I actually like wearing a G-Shock.
There you go.
A very normal.
G-Shock, awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
Which G-Shock? Or just the
squarish one.
The original one?
Yes.
The old school one?
Yes.
I want to say 5,000 series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
5,000 series?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So, one of the guys in Philippines has one of those as well. Mm-hmm. Awesome watch. I wear a G-Shock daily also, so good call.
It's very straightforward.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What else do you like to wear?
I'm wearing one Oris, an automatic Oris with open case back.
Okay, very cool.
And it was given to me by someone very important in my life, so I like wearing that. Yeah.
So the guys out there asking, ooh, important in your life. I won't get into that, don't worry. We're not here to talk about watches.
Okay. Okay.
No, but see, I've had multiple Orises. My favorite one, I don't have it anymore, was the Pointer Date.
That's
really good watches.
Watch, yeah.
So, from, those watches to, the significant watches, but, significant definitely in price.
Yes.
So let's start here. We have a women's watch here, the Audemars.
Yes.
What can you tell you about this? What's the model number and what makes that one of the watches that you decided to sort of, highlight?
This is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak 67651 IP.
Okay.
It's a very significant watch because it's a boutique only watch, limited to only 300 pieces worldwide. And the blue dial is actually exclusive to that of platinum and titanium Royal Oak watches. The case itself is made out of titanium, satin finished titanium, and the case and the bracelet, but the links and the bezel are actually made out of platinum.
I read somewhere, that's actually a very difficult process for them to do.
It is. Also because the bezel is actually bezeled with 40 pieces of brilliant cut diamonds totaling 0.73 carats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do all of the watches of that reference have the diamond only, the diamond studded bezel?
Not really.
Okay, so it's out of the 300, there's only a few of them that actually have that bezel.
No, sorry.
I'm sorry.
300 pieces.
I'm sorry. So all 300 of those,
yeah,
have the diamond bezel.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes.
It's pretty big actually for a women's watch. How big is this?
It's 33 in case diameter.
So this actually would have been a men's watch not too long ago.
Back before 1976, yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I wear a 36 fairly frequently. So 33 is not really that far. I've had 34s also as a kid. So the old Tag Heuer F1s were I think 34s.
Yes.
So this would have been a men's watch not too long ago.
Yes.
Very, very cool. I remember we were talking about this just before the show. This is one of the quartz movement ones.
It is. It is.
Okay.
So battery operated.
Typical with the women's watch, especially with the thin cases, right?
Yes.
Very, very cool. But you were telling me that you're not really a women's watch kind of person. Obviously with the G-Shock, it's much
Not
bigger than...
really.
This is a big women's watch.
Yes.
But you're not a small watch person.
No, because the reason is I have huge bones. So if I wear small,
I would beg to differ. Much larger bones.
I have huge bones. So if I wear really small watches, I mean, it wouldn't look good on me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, 39 is not that big. And so...
It's better than 33.
There you go. So is this something that you would wear?
Yes.
Definitely. Well, this is a Zenith movement.
It is.
And you were saying it's the floating dial.
It is. It is actually the first. This is R series. So
Okay.
R series is actually the first Daytona edition with automatic movement. So
Okay.
if you look back during 1988, we would actually see 6263s and other Paul Newman models with manual winding
Correct. The
machines and
Valjo.
yes, and this is a revolution actually for Rolex Daytonas because this is an automatic winding one.
Yeah. So this is the first series that came out with the Zenith movement.
Yes, that's
right.
right.
The modified Zenith movement.
Yes.
So what makes it the floating dial?
It's a floating dial because, as you can see here from the dial, the cosmograph is towards the hands of the dial, as compared with the normal Rolex Daytona Zenith, wherein the cosmograph would appear here, just right after officially certified.
Okay, so it's got a gap in between, hence
there
it's
is a gap,
floating.
Yes. Hence the floating.
Very cool.
Dial.
Well, with the Zenith movements, it's always the white dial that gets more attention because of the black rings. Well, similar to the 16500.
Only because of the contrast. I
Yeah.
mean, it's easier to look at and read a white dial one as opposed to that of a black dial.
And you would see it instantly if it's a white dial with the black rings with the steel. You know it's a Zenith, right?
Yes.
So, what are the tricks? I know there's one trick, but there are the tricks of telling that this is a Zenith without having to shake it around or ask.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for a Zenith one, the hour marker is placed on the 6 o'clock one.
There you go.
And the second subdial is placed at the 9 o'clock one.
There you go.
But if it's a non-Zenith Daytona, it's the opposite.
There. So that's the shorthand of how to tell.
Yes.
There you go. Perfect.
That's
Thank
an
you.
easy way for you to tell if it's a Zenith or not.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yes.
Now we go to this actually I am on record saying that I'm not a huge Patek guy. I definitely respect them, but I do like the 3700.
Yes.
I like the simplicity. I like because between this and the 5711, cosmetically anyway, it's really the second hand.
Yes, just that.
And everything else, the case is basically the same. Case thickness.
Oh, it's different.
A little bit different.
So
this is thinner, I believe.
it's thinner.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I was gonna go with that list, this is the one I would take. I much prefer this. But that being said, what's your take?
I would take the 5711.
So you wouldn't have to fight over watches. Perfect. So why would you take the 5711?
For one, it's cheaper. Also,
okay. All right.
You know, women are generally more into details, so I'd
That's
like
fair.
the second hand as
Oh,
well.
you like having the second hand. All right. Gotcha. Case thickness?
This
Doesn't
is
matter.
about Yes. This is about 7.33 mm, while the 5711 is 8.2 or 8.3 mm.
Actually, fairly significant.
Yeah.
1.5, fairly significant. Which do you think would wear better?
It's really hard to tell because if you put them side by side, for someone who is not really very knowledgeable about the difference between the 3700 and the 5711, at first glance they look exactly the same. Yeah, unless you look at it closely.
Is there a big price gap between the two?
Yes.
Yeah? Like you're talking about double?
Yes.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I think I'll take the 5711. I'll put that down now. Now, with the 5711, we actually do have one here.
We do, but it's a double sealed one, so I can't really touch it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, with a little bit of movie magic, we'll show you a little bit of the 5711. We'll try to get them more or less side by side for you guys to see. Apologies, we can't show them to you really side by side, but I thought it'd be really, really cool to sort of compare and contrast the two, even with the small details.
Yeah.
Right, awesome, thank you. Okay. Now, this bad boy, massive, massive bad boy here. Yeah, what can you tell me about it? I'm not a Patek guy.
This is actually a Patek Philippe 5980R-001.
All right.
And it's not the full rose gold one, as you can see. It's a chronograph. That's why it has the buttons here, right here.
Yeah.
And if you look at it closely, you have the hour marker, the second subdials, and also the minute subdials.
So basically in one subdial cluster.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the Daytona of Rolex, except that the positioning of the subdials is different. And it's very special because it's really super hard to get a hold of a 5980R, especially now. This is brand new, by the way.
Okay.
And what I can say about this is it's really nice as well. It's taking after its predecessor, which is the 3700. And yeah, sure.
Thank you. Very hefty watch.
It is. It's very nice.
It's a little bit less delicate than what I'm used to seeing from Patek. Quite hefty.
It's delicate.
I do like the brown dial. Or is it smoky brown? What would you call that dial?
Gray.
Is it gray?
Yeah, smoke.
Very, very cool. Looks really nice with the rose gold. I'm not even that big on rose gold, but it is a really, really good like pairing. Are there versions of this with like the full rose gold bracelet?
Yes, it has a full rose gold bracelet. It has a two-tone one. There is steel and rose gold, and there's also a full steel one.
Wow. Okay.
The bracelet is made out of alligator leather with square patterns. Yeah.
And this is a brand new one.
This is brand new. Yes.
Okay, maybe I should not be handling it too much. I'll save that for some lucky owner someday. So of all these watches, you were telling me that, you know, the Nautilus is your favorite, and you're around, you know, so many awesome watches all the time. What about the Nautilus makes it your favorite?
It's a very special watch for me because this is a very significant watch for Patek Philippe. Because back in 1970s, Patek Philippe is actually known for dress watches, the Calatravas,
yes,
and the smaller case diameter ones. Back in 1972, Audemars Piguet came up with Royal Oak.
Sure.
And it was designed by Gerald Genta. So, because Patek Philippe wanted to compete with the Royal Oak of Audemars Piguet, they hired the same man who designed Royal Oak, who is Gerald Genta.
Yeah.
And then they came up with the 3700 Patek Philippe Nautilus. It was actually inspired by a ship's porthole.
Yep.
As you can see, the 3700 comprised of two parts, which is the case and the case back, or the bezel and the case back.
Yeah.
And if we actually look at it, they are screwed together, resembling that of a ship's porthole.
Yeah, where they would swing open and swing closed.
Yes, you can just pop this open and you can see the machine of the 3700.
I see.
Yes.
So between this and the 5711, which is the one you prefer?
I would prefer the Patek Philippe 5711 more.
Because any reason?
Monetary wise,
okay.
And also at the 5711, the machine is more complicated in such a way that it has the seconds hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the differences a little bit between the 5711 and the 3700. So what would, like, if a layman came up, and I'm not a Patek expert by any means, if I was to look at one, how would I tell one from the other?
There are actually several differences. We can start with the bracelet.
Okay.
So if you look at the bracelet of 3700 and 5711, at a first glance, you won't actually see any difference. But if you look at the clasp, it's different. The 3700, the clasp and the way that it's locked is actually much simpler than that of the 5711.
Just a friction, like a friction lock. Almost.
Yeah, and also the way that the Calatrava logo is designed is also very different.
I actually didn't know it's called the Calatrava logo.
It's a Calatrava logo.
Right.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day. All right. So what else would distinguish one from the other?
Also, the parts of the case are also very different. So 3700 only comprise of two parts, which is the bezel and the case screwed together, is what I've said. And if you look at the 5711, it actually has three parts. We have the bezel, the case, and the case back.
Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of purists would actually go for 3700 only because, as I've said, it is inspired by a ship's porthole.
Yeah, and so I guess it more resembles, even in construction, the porthole.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And another thing is that if you look at the case back,
okay,
from a 3700 point of view, you can't actually see the mechanism of the watch. But if you look at a 5711, it's an open case back.
Okay, so you can see the movement. All right, got it.
And the diameter, 3700 is only 42 mm.
Okay.
While the 5711 is 43 mm.
Okay, I actually didn't notice that.
It's just 1 mm difference.
Okay, yeah.
And the thickness is also different. 3700 is thinner, and 5711 is thicker.
Okay. And then dial-wise, you said that, visually it would be the second hand that would...
The second hand, and also if you notice, 3700 font is in bold. It's period correct because back in 1970s, the fonts are in bold style.
That would be the fashion of the time.
Yes.
And would I see it here that it would be? Oh yeah, you're right.
It's thinner. Yes.
It is much thinner. Even here in this 5780, is that right?
5980.
Sorry, 5980. Thank you. Oh, you're right.
Yes, and if you'd see the label Patek Philippe and Genevieve. This is actually towards 12 o'clock. It's up a notch as compared with the 3700.
Oh, you're right. Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
Of all of these, which one would you take home? Because the 5711's not here.
Well, it's really hard to compare the 3700 and the 5711. But if I could take both, I would.
So it would still be the Nautilus. It would be
the Nautilus.
And not the 5780R.
No, this is more significant for me.
So this is what you would take home.
Yes.
All right. Well, just in case someone does want to take them home, they can always come here, right?
Yes, they can always come here.
What are the store hours?
We're open actually from Mondays through Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
And Sundays by appointment.
Very cool. Yeah. So if any of you guys want to take these home, you know where to go and you know who to look for. And with that, we'll say goodbye. Thank you very much, Kei. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is stuff that you don't get to see on an everyday basis. In my case, for example, it's the first time seeing this and this. So that's actually pretty cool. Thanks for bringing them out. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. If you have any questions for us or for Kei, leave them in the comment section and we'll try to get them to her and hopefully she can give us some answers. If you liked the video, let us know. If there's something you would like to see next time, please also let us know. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and Kei, again, hope you enjoyed.
I did.
All right, awesome. So I'll see you guys next time and take care.